Hello, 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 and welcome to my studio. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hi, everybody. I better start over. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my glass studio. You know, there are different types of little accent pieces or complementary pieces or component pieces you might like to include in your artwork. So today I'm going to show you how to make a couple of different ways to make eyeballs. Now, eyeballs are terrific if you're making something like a fish, or you're making something like a mummy, or you're making something like a ghost, or maybe you just want to make a jar of creepy eyeballs because it's October and that just sounds like fun. So I'm going to make some creepy eyeballs, some creepy ones and some cool ones. So what I've got here is I've got my tweezers. Check this out. Finally learned. Got my tweezers. I have some white glass, scrap glass. I have some green, some yellow, some black, and these are called pebbles. They're fusible nuggets, really. And I'm going to try using those for some eyeballs because they're already round and they're kind of cool looking. So we'll see if we can kind of take those and make something out of them. So I've decided this is about the size eyeball I want. You can work from a pattern if you'd like to, but I'm just going to put this on here and trace around it. There we go. And you can trace around anything you want, you know, that's round. So I want to make a bunch of eyeballs. So I'm going to trace around these, and then we're going to cut them out. So I have a circle cutter, but it can do circles this tiny, but it's a little awkward. So it's almost easier just to trace around something than to set that up. So here I'm going to trace around, and I guess we want an even set of eyeballs because most things have two. Oh, look, I got a mess.
Unless you do cyclops.
Well, okay, there you go. If it's a cyclops, then it only has one. All right, well, you don't need to be traced around all these. All we need to do is really see you make one, right? So I've got that there. Then I've decided this is going to be the size of the
Iris.
iris. Okay, yeah, so that's going to be the size of the iris. And I want to make that in green on top of this white. Because remember, these eyeballs are going to be creepy. Sort of creepy. But fun creepy because we like fun creepy for Halloween. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 6 of these. And these are kind of, you know, we can see they're kind of messy. They're kind of approximate, but that's all right. Now, if you had a little stencil that you use for scrapbooking, this is a great time to pull it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be a great time to pull it out and use that as a template to trace your little circles. All right, so we've got those. All right, so now we're going to take our glass, take this white, and cut on that line. Oh, sticking to the table. Okay, we got it all the way around, I think. I'm going to move my tools out of the way so I don't get the glass in my tools. Oh, I don't think I scored that area. So, oh, actually I did see a score. It was just being stubborn. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to take my grozers and clean that up a little bit to minimize the amount of grinding that I have to do. All right, so that looks pretty good, pretty round, right? All right, now we cut the greens. And I brought yellow over too because I thought, maybe I'll do some yellow eyes. Yellow might be, maybe cat eyes. Ooh, that could be very fun. I recently made eyes for a frog. They were red. So I guess eyes could be any number of colors. Ooh, you know, we could add a little red to this and make these eyes look bloodshot. That would be fun. All right, so we're going to break off this outside of this green. There we go. All right, so these will be ground. That'll go on top of there. Then I have a little piece of iridized black. That's going to be for the center of the eye.
The pupil.
The pupil. I'm going to cut it this way. And then cut it this way. Oh, come on now. It's a little hard to grab. And we'll put that in the center. Now these will be ground and then laid out on this kiln shelf. Now Now another way you can make eyes is we can take these little nuggets and we could cut a small piece of black or whatever color you want. If you wanted to use a different color. Let's see if we can break that. Nope, we can't. All right, we're going to use this dichroic instead because we can cut it really small and it likes to be cut small, so it works well for us. All right, we'll put that on top. Ooh, there we got a little eyeball. That kind of looks like a frog eye to me, doesn't it? Got a little frog eye to you? All right, so another way that you can make eyes, if you're gonna make eyes for like a fish, cut approximately, you know, this could actually be even a little smaller. Let's cut a new one. Approximately a 1/4 inch strip, 1/4 inch wide, and then cut that into squares. There we go. And then we take our little bit of dichroic, cut this into a nice little narrow strip. I think I'll use these to break that off. And then we cut that into little squares. Break those off. Oh, we got 2 there. I might need a second pair of pliers to break this. Let's see if it'll work. There we go. Okay. All right, and then we put that on top of here. Oop. And then we fire that. We fire that. And we fire that in the kiln. Now these are all going to be fired to a full fuse temperature. And now I might even want to put this eye a little bit off-centered for fun. Put some in the middle, some off-centered. So these will all go on this kiln shelf. Well, these will be ground. They'll go on this kiln shelf. They'll be fired to a full fuse temperature. And then I'll bring it back and show you what here's looking at you looks like. Hey, welcome back to the studio. So it's that time of year where I love to think of, you know, the holidays and spooky things, Halloween. So I made some spooky eyeballs and we fired them overnight. Let's open the kiln and see what we have. So these eyeballs are basically a big test. I wanted to see what kind of results I would get with different assemblies. So after we turned the camera off yesterday, I had some of these assembled and I thought, oh, let me try a couple of variations. So I'm gonna pull this out. So these eyes are the ones you saw me cut. Oh gosh, we lost one. Oh no. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Put it back on there. This kiln shelf is a little slippery. Okay, let's, maybe we should put this on the table so that we don't risk that again. I'm gonna put it over here. I'm sorry I have a big mess on my table here, but that's fine. Actually, come on over here, if you can. There we go, because the lighting is better over here. There we are. All right, so these 2 eyes are white glass, the green, and then the dichroic on top. So just a single layer of white. These are white on the bottom, then a piece of clear, and then the green, and then the dichroic. And look at, these were the same size when they went into the kiln, but look how these have kind of shrunk a little bit, and these are kind of a little bit bigger. And look at the edge quality. These are definitely thicker than these. And I was hoping on these that green would create a shadow and make this eye look a little deeper. But because the green is a transparent and not an opaque, it just kind of sits on top, which is fine. So I'm actually really happy the way that these rounded out, and they're a little rough on the edge, but I intend to kind of fire them and put them in something else. So I'm not really too concerned about that. And then these were the ones, the white, we did white glass with a little speck of dichroic on it. And look how nicely those balled up and created nice little rounded eyes. So there's the back of it. Oops. And when I make eyeballs like this, I always make more than I think I need because I just put them in a bag and I just store them for later. And then Nikki suggested that I make red, and I was like, well, I don't know about that, but I really do like these little red ones. So this is kind of, once I got started, you know, I was like, all right, well, you know, what kind of, you know, variations can I do in this sample, in this test, to see in the future what I would like to use when I make another project. So I've got little dichroic on top of opaque blue. I also have it on transparent blue. I have it on opaque green. I have it on transparent green. I have it on opaque yellow and transparent yellow. But you know what? I'm gonna have to go back and look at the other picture because some of these that look red, I believe were yellow. They were an amber when they went into the kiln. We'll have to go back and look at that. And then I did purple. At the last minute, Nikki said, oh, make purple eyes. So I was like, all right, well, that's kind of strange, but what the heck? And those are cool too. Like these could be great for a cat. These would be great for like a spooky monster. Or actually, I recently did a frog, and I looked it up. Their eyes are red. So these might work good for like a tree frog. So these are just kind of fun components that I make and then I use in other projects. But I want you to kind of get the gist of how I would do a test firing or a test sheet of materials and why I do things like the transparent green, opaque green, because there are cases where the one or the other looks a whole lot better, and now I know. So now I've got all these great samples that I can work into other projects. So I mentioned that I started out with a certain idea for eyes that I want to make, these white ones with the green centers. Those were very specific to a project I want to work on later. And then I wanted to show you how to make little eyes like this that you can use on different projects like birds and frogs and different things. So I wanted to show you how to make those. But then, wouldn't you know, I had some extra kiln space on this shelf. So, of course, what do? You fill it. So I thought to myself, I have these pebbles. These are called pebbles. They're fusible material. These are fusible pebbles. And I made these white ones with the dichroic on top. And then I thought, well, why don't we try some of these other colors? So right before I put this in the kiln, I went over and I took one of these bags of nuggets or pebbles, and I decided to do a variety of colors because, as I mentioned, sometimes purple might be best suited for a certain project. Sometimes a blue is better suited for a project, and you don't always know until you can actually see what it's going to look like. And I hate to make something, work it into a piece, and then find out I don't really like it. So by doing tests like this, I'm able to know in advance what I'm going to get. And of course, there's always variations, but that's the beauty of glass fusing, is variations. But what I realized when I was showing you these eyes is that I did, very specifically, I did blue opaque, blue transparent with these pebbles. I did yellow opaque, yellow transparent. And when I look at this sample here, there's no yellow transparent eyes. Look, we have the blue opal, the blue transparent, green opal, green transparent, red, these are red transparent, the yellow opal, but where is the yellow transparent? So I went back and looked at my before picture. This is why it's so important to take before pictures. And these two little eyeballs right here happen to be strikers. They were yellow, this color, when they went into the kiln, and look at the color they came out of the kiln. Now, if you were making something sweet and endearing, like your cat or your kitten, and you put these eyes in the project, and this is what came out, wouldn't you be surprised?
Cat was on catnip.
Yeah, and you would start to worry, oh God, did I is my cat super fired? Is my cat on drugs? Is my cat, gone demonic? Who knows? So that is a really super duper terrific sample and reason for doing test pieces, because you may get unexpected results like that. Now, your other option would be, if you have a cat with red eyes, is, go with it, redo it, make a new one, just put it on the shelf of fun failures. We all have a shelf like that, right? But anyway, so I just wanted to point out that I didn't even realize that until later, in knowing what I had done in my planning, which was opaque and transparent of all the colors available in this little sample set here. And I realized there's no yellow. What happened to the yellow? So I think that's pretty exciting. And the other exciting thing is, I really love the red. It's bright. It's cool looking. I mean, it's very fun and creepy. and very fun and creepy is terrific for Halloween or any kind of, spooky kind of thing. So at this point, I'm saying to myself, darn, I want to make more of those red ones, and I still don't know how I'm going to use them, but it'd be really cool to have more of them. So we're going to just play with different ideas and different ways to use these eyes. I mean, I have an idea for these specifically, but the others were just like, heck, we've got room on this kiln shelf, let's fill it up. And now I'm patting myself on the back for saying, hey, Lisa, no matter how long I've been doing glass fusing, no matter how much experience you have, you always benefit from doing test pieces, and you always benefit and have a little fun, a little extra surprise when you go ahead and do some extra pieces, put a little more time in, do some extra pieces to get that little wow factor. And now I have another little tool in my box that I can use. I now know how to make really cool little red eyes. So fun all around. So I just want to make sure I pointed that out to you because, I know for some people, doing tests is kind of boring and not the most fun, but here I'm showing you the absolute awesome value of doing test pieces. So there are a lot of opportunities or design ideas where you might want to use eyes. If you're making a fish, looks great if you have a really nice eye. If you're making, I don't know, like a cat or a dog or a frog, or maybe you just want to make a jar of eyes for fun. Maybe you just want to use them for random places, or you make a bird, a parrot, an egret or something. It's nice to know how to make an eye to add it to your artwork, because having a fused glass eye can be a lot more interesting because it can be very delicate, dainty, and a little more interesting because of the curvature and the detail that you're able to get by firing your glass. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these. I'm really excited about these. I'm going to work these into a project. You'll get to see that later. And so I'm kind of excited about working with those. I might even try some red on the next set, like Nikki suggested. She makes great suggestions. I should just do what she says. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed learning how to make these eyeballs, and hope you have some eyeballs in your future. And please like, subscribe, follow, share. We would love for you to do all that for us. And please consider becoming a member of my video subscription. We'd love to have you. Got new videos coming out all the time, and a great fun group of people. We're having a wonderful time with it. So we would love to have you join us. So please consider that. And until next time, happy fusing.